Hey guys, we're gonna make instruments out of recycled materials, just materials you have around the house and things that are easy to use. I think a lot of kids already tend to do these and they make these instruments. You'll find a lot of things like kind of a basic little kazoo thing. Usually have a hard time making all this stuff work. It's like a rubber band and some straws. All it is trying to make things vibrate. You have your other basic things where you use like a plastic cup and you have a balloon on there. You can make like your basic drum. You've got your pan flutes, which actually make the sounds, and I mean all sorts of your basic things. But let's talk about things that are a little bit different and then actually really talk more about, I think a good way for the kids to actually see different ways you can make an instrument. So you want to make something that, number one, vibrates, make something that you can help to make the sound louder, so maybe something that helps to give it more air around it so that it can amplify the sound, make the sound louder, and then maybe a way to change the sound or to adjust it. But that's probably getting to more older kids, but I'm going to show you some cool examples that will teach the basic concepts. So we'll start with this one. This one is so great because basically all you're doing is I found a way to have something that amplifies sound, which would be the cup, and you got a rubber band, and then all I'm going to do is pluck at the rubber band, and you can see and you can even hear the sound difference with the rubber band by making it shorter. The shorter should be one sound, longer sound is a different sound. See, so the tighter it is and the tauter it is one sound, shorter. And they can actually play, if you use your thumb, you can use your fingers to play different things with it. I know, it sounds silly, but it's super, super basic, but super fun. There's another one that's really basic. All it was is a balloon, because this can vibrate really well, something to amplify it, so you've got something that's got the air, and a straw. And it's not a pretty sound, just saying, but you could see how by changing the tension on the balloon, it changes the sound. Not pretty. Kind of cool though, pretty simple, pretty cool. It's a great way to demonstrate a fun way to actually make an instrument. So maybe it doesn't sound pretty, but it's cool. This is like your basic kind of a guitar. If you have, these rubber bands are all the same size and same thickness, and you can hear the sound with it because it's got some air behind it, so it's got a cutout. So you can hear that. If we want to change the sound of this so that each rubber band doesn't have the same sound, we'll turn, just go like this with a pencil. So you're going to see the length of the rubber band is going to be different for each one, okay? Now listen to this sound. So hopefully you can hear that pretty well. It's just by changing the length of the rubber band, it changes the sound, okay? I'm not an instrument person, I don't know anything, but I feel like I'm just trying to share and document actually what I did learn. I love this one because this is probably for your older kids, but it's still a great demo to understand how sound and how it actually works, how the instrument can kind of work. So this is curling ribbon, not even rubber band, curling ribbon, not fishing line, curling ribbon. And then we just secured it here with a paper clip out of a tennis ball container and cut an insert out here. And then there's just a pencil here on the end. Okay, I'm gonna play my kind of guitar or whatever you wanna call it. So it makes a sound. Okay, now I'm gonna tighten it. Tighten it again. See if you can notice the difference in the sound. Tighten it again. Tighten it again. Isn't this really great? I mean, you can see, same thing, and it on my pencil and pull the pencil like away from the top of the tennis ball container. I'm sorry, I think this is really, really cool because it's really showing you how you can have one material, but you just change something about that material and see what happens. Very cool. Same thing with this one. All this is fishing line, a paper towel tube, and there's this plastic container cork. So you secure the fishing line. You can do this with anything. It doesn't mean you have to use a paper towel tube or any of this stuff. This is just a way to make it so that you've got air around, something that will vibrate, which is the fishing line. And then we're gonna play it and we'll see what we hear. I mean, how great is that? Okay, but what we're gonna do now, see where it is on here? I'm gonna move this all the way forward, okay? So I made, but I do not wanna have the fishing line actually touching the plastic container. Okay, so we're gonna do from the cork to the end of the paper towel tube. Let's scooch it back a little bit. And a little bit more. Go back further. I can even change it by changing the tension on the fishing line by pushing down on my finger here. Okay, how cool is that? It's awesome, it's awesome. And here's a lesson. You're just really teaching the basic concept of what it is. Here again is the other guitar. This one, I like it where you can show the one side of the box where the rubber bands are actually touching the box, okay? And you can show like this. You have sound, you can hear sound. Okay, so you have sound. The rubber bands are all actually a different size. I did bigger size rubber bands down to smaller, but they're all the same width of a rubber band. Now if you flip it over, so you put air behind the rubber bands, you can see how the sound is going to be louder because more air is in there too. Do you notice too that the sound is not the same with all the rubber bands? That's because of the tension. It's awesome. And again, this is just an example. It doesn't look pretty, but it's giving them some ideas of how to get started and then see what they end up doing on their own. So that's what I've got for making instruments out of recycled materials. I would say a great video to show is OK Go Sandbox. Look at the OK Go Sandbox website or just go to OK Go on YouTube. And they have one song, I think it's Needing and Getting is the song, that they use a car to play a song. So the car is actually what they're using to play the song, and the song is not just with regular instruments. So you check it out. I will put a link in, and it's amazing. So anyways, I hope you have fun. I learned a ton. I think the kids would learn a ton, and I think it's super, super fun, but I think they need to understand how you actually make music and what different changes you can make can do it, then let them explore and make their own. There you go.